Hello, welcome to PaulyKnits. My name is Paul. I'm recording from Arcata, California, on the coast of Northern California. I'm between the Pacific Ocean and the Redwoods. We have both of those in my area. So I want to thank you for checking me out. I'm in a new location. And I'm going to do what makes me comfortable because it's the only way just to be yourself and record and yeah. So let me knit a little while so I can get comfortable. And then I'll get my show notes out and we can kind of decide. I'll just start talking about stuff. I've been on Ravelry for a while. I was a beta tester a long time ago. I started knitting a little bit before Ravelry. There was a local yarn store that my neighbor told me about, and I went up there and I was knitting up there every week with the ladies, and the yarn shop closed and moved several locations. That was my hangout, and then actually only 2 locations. It had 2 locations, and then someone else took over ownership, and then the yarn shop closed down, and those ladies now knit together still, but they rent another room in that strip of businesses, and so you have to pay to go, which is fine, but I don't go up there and knit. I usually just hang out around here and knit. There's a knitting meeting every Friday, which is today actually, at 2 o'clock at the Arcata Library. And I don't know if anyone shows up to that. Maybe I should check it out soon. Yeah, get out of the house and meet some other knitters, I guess. My knitters are online. My friends, my knitters. Let's see, drop that one. I made a reference sheet for me to look at because I want to make sure that I'm capturing. Make sure that I'm telling you guys everything about the design that I want to tell you, and everything about the yarn I'm knitting with. And I would like to thank Will from the Budget Knitter podcast because he's been giving me some guidance and some help. So thank you, Will. I appreciate it. We should help each other out. I've actually been helping other people out too online. There's a lady who is transitioning from, I think she's still going to crochet, but she wants to learn how to knit hats. So I was trying to show her some tensioning things, and hopefully that works out. So I did write some show notes, very briefly, little notes that I could just talk about what's up. So we have a new house guest, and that's my nephew Olin. He goes to Humboldt State University, which is here in my town, and he usually lives in the dorms, and they were gonna get a house for the summer, and it fell through, so his dorm mate moved for the summer, and he's here. So they are currently looking for a place to live for the summer, to rent. They're both freshmen, and I've really enjoyed having Olin here, so that's cool. I'm happy to have someone else here. And so he has a job. He works in 2 places, 1 business, 2 places, so I've just been here making sure I keep the house clean and everybody's happy. My partner works at night. Olin works during the day. I'm not currently working. I was a hairstylist. Now I'm a stay-at-home knitter, Etsy shop. Yeah, I don't know. I'm content. How about that? So that's kind of what's been going on. Around here, we've been pretty busy. I'm just going to set this down here. Sorry. Might be easier for me to knit and look down. This is just water. So the next thing that's been going on is that I'm preparing to go on a trip down to Mike's mom and dad's house. We're gonna go down there for about a week and hang out. We're gonna take Mike's mother to a baseball game, the Angels. They live in Orange County, California, so that's 12 hours in the car, which I don't really want to take the car ride, but oh well. And Mike's mother's house is actually 4 hours away from Vegas, which is cool, but we're not planning to go to Vegas this trip. We are planning on going to Pearl Soho on the West Coast, which I didn't know was near Mike's mother's house, and the baseball game, and Knott's Berry Farm because we love Knott's Berry Farm. So that's that. So right now we're getting our cars all looked at and worked on. We drive a Prius, so we take that. And Coco will come with us, and Olin will stay here and work and watch our house for us. So that's pretty much what's going on. I've been really enjoying the Instagram and everybody on there. The next thing I want to stay on track is that we still have the spring along going in the group. So anything that you guys are making, you're welcome to post that in there. You're welcome to chatter. It's going to end at the end of May, so I'll be sure to get another recording up by then. It's just going to be a pattern of your choice will be the prize, because that's easier for me instead of trying to ship something to you. In the future, maybe we'll do maybe I'll be more prepared and I'll send something. So that's a spring along. I've enjoyed seeing all of your things in there. We have people posting, and I've really had fun interacting with you guys and seeing your cool stuff. The next thing is that I'm saving up for a new toy. I would like the Addy Knitting Machine King. It's a circular knitting machine. You can knit hats on it. You can knit flat pieces. There's two sizes. You could get the Addy King, or you can just get the regular Addy. And that one, it's like baby hats and scarves, which is they both have their own uses. But I want to start out with the big one, because I really would like to have a hat that'll fit me. And if I can get this machine working, I would love to use a lot of my yarn and crank out some hats for charity, because we have a large homeless population in the area. So that was my thought on the Addy. It's kind of expensive. I'm gonna buy it from the Woolery because I've shopped there before and I really like their business. Okay, so that's that, the Addy King. I've been watching videos on YouTube. There's a lady, I don't remember who she is, and I didn't write it down, but she does all kinds of videos. You could just type in the Addy Knitting Machine and watch her crank hats out, and so that's pretty cool. I think it'd be good for blanket squares or strips or whatever you wanted to do. You're supposed to be able to make pieces for garments, and you're gonna sew it together. I don't know how well that would work for an extra large size. So the other thing is that if you are around the Ravelry group, you'll notice I added a couple more topics. I added a general chat topic, which you can just talk, do it, say whatever you want in there. I think that's a good communication tool for us. And there's another thread about any kind of questions or concerns or comments, ideas, help, thoughts on the podcast, questions I can answer. I did get a question on there from Will about the stitch markers. Am I still making stitch markers? And I am. I have a bunch in the shop right now. I've got some peace signs in there and some turtles and skulls. And that's PaulyKnits on Etsy, by the way. I shouldn't leave that out. Although I did leave out where you could reach me, so that's always fun. I am PaulyKnits on Instagram, Pauly81 on Ravelry, and no Facebook. It's just Instagram, Ravelry pretty much. And YouTube. I'm on YouTube and Etsy. So that's PaulyKnits. So I've kind of just been trying to figure out what to do for this show. I think knitting on the show is actually very comforting. Wine is comforting, but I'm not going to drink wine on the show right now. I haven't really been having alcohol, but... And my next thing, I just wanted to thank you guys for all the interaction on Instagram. I've been having a lot of one-on-one conversations with people. And I don't know if you all watch the show, but I know some of you do. So that's great. That makes me feel good. And what else do we want to talk about? So I've got some finished objects. If you remember, I was knitting my sister another pair of socks. They are in my lap. So I'm going to show them first. So I don't have the sock blockers out here. But these are the socks. You'll have to tell me if you can see them better, because a couple people commented that you couldn't see my projects and yarn in that room I was podcasting from. That was just my desktop because it's easier, but I think I found an easier way to get my show up there. So these are size 10 foot, 8.5 from the cuff to the heel, fish lips kiss heel. And then my toe, I always use the same toe, which is from Kate Atherley's Basic Ribbed Socks. And she gathers her toe, and I use the Kitchener, but it's rounded, so you can see how rounded that is. And it would actually go this way. So those are great. She's gonna love those. I just have to get them to her. She already has one pair, so she's okay. So that's one finished pair of socks. And I'm gonna say here, the pattern was designed. What I do for my socks is I just plug in whatever heel I want, and I already know what I'm doing because my numbers stay the same. I cast on 64 stitches for all of my socks, unless it's somebody who I know has a really small foot, and then I will go down. My opinion about the pattern, is it advanced or easy? I think that socks are easy to make once you get used to the techniques. So I started out using Silver Sock Class, and that was great. She has different sizes. She has different weights of yarn. Sorry, it's a one size sock. You will size your sock to your foot length, but you could do a sock in worsted weight yarn, which is what I started out. I knit one worsted weight yarn sock, and then I quickly moved on to fingering weight yarn. And I'll have to say, the hard part for me when I first started was picking up the stitches for the gusset. But you will quickly get your own way of doing that. There's lots and lots of videos on YouTube, and it just takes practice, that's all. So that's all I have to say about these socks. My second finished objects, and I don't know if I showed you these already, but I might have. These are, I didn't see it in my previous show notes. These are my cousin's other socks. These are Alex's socks. This is Knit Picks Hawthorne. And the reason I wanted to knit him 2 pairs is because this is a textured yarn, kind of, and I wanted him to have a smooth pair also. So these are a 9-inch foot. This heel is from Silver Sock Class, and I do 8 inches still from the top to the heel. The colorway, I think it's Montova or Montavilla or something. I really like this. It feels sturdy. He's gonna get a lot of use out of these. And like I said, same toe, Kate Atherley. Let's see here. And yes, I would knit these again, so they're great. I love the colors. So those are 2 finished objects. I have one more finished object, and here it is. This is called the basic. Let's see, where is it here? Oh, I have to change the page. Okay. I'm not going in order either, so. Sorry. Okay. Basic Baby Hat by Heather Tucker. US 5 needle, 3.75 millimeter. Lion Brand Big Scoop in the banana split colorway. And I've got a pile of these going. So you can see. And then here's the yarn. See, I move on too fast. I didn't even say what needle size I was using, that I used on these socks. The socks were knit on a US 0, which is a 2.0 millimeter. The hats were knit on a US 5, which is a 3.75 millimeter. And on the baby hat, I used needles that I just got from Knit Picks. They are Knit Picks nickel-plated, double-pointed needles, and they are great. I love them. They're 8 inches long for these baby hats, and they're really cool. So, yeah. Try to show you better. So those are the baby hats. I would like to get a lot more in this pile before I donate them, and I'm not sure where they're going to be donated yet. Hopefully locally. If not, I don't have a problem sending them out. Okay. You'll probably hear the birds. It's been raining here a lot, and that bird is always so loud. Okay. Now for my whips, I guess I'll put my knitting down. My first whip is my big whip. So this is called the Flax Light, and it's designed by Tin Can Knits. It's in my chicken boots bag that I actually bought at her house because she used to live next to me, near me, in like one town over. I'd love it if she was my neighbor, but she wasn't. Okay. I just need to get this in a place where I can show you. You can see the 2x2 stripes. So I'm knitting it top down. This is the neck, which is a little bit stretched at the moment, but it won't be. This is knit on, the neck is done on a US 2 and the rest is done on a US 5. I think I go back down to the 2 for the cuffs and the bottom band. And I'm really enjoying it. I haven't picked it up in a while. I want to get working on it since I did finish a couple projects just now. So this is Tide Pool Heather and Marble Heather. First, let me make sure I'm telling you everything I want to know about this pattern. So, where did I find the pattern? I found the pattern because I've knit their patterns before, and everyone talks about their patterns on podcasts, and I watch a lot of podcasts. What is special about the designer is that they have a simple collection. So they're free, and they have cardigans, sweaters, hats, socks. I've knit. That's probably the next question. What needle size? I told you. How's it going so far, and how's the pattern? I did change it. I cast on a medium neck, and I am increasing out to the extra large, out to here. So from here to here, I'm just adding length. So I like that because you kind of get more room. And I don't know if it's just me, but it just feels like raglan sweaters don't really have a shoulder. So that's what I did. And hopefully that it'll work out. You just have to like figure out your numbers so that they end up in at the XL numbers and everything's lined up. Just do the regular XL body, sleeves, everything's good. So is it advanced or easy? I would say it's pretty easy. Start off with the worsted weight one. They walk you all the way through the pattern. I mean, there's nothing to lose. It's just yarn. You could rip it back out if it's really... The only thing you lose is time. So, a lot of people don't like that. Okay, techniques used in the pattern. I used the cast on I used is a twisted German cast on. There's knit front and back increases. There's purling, a little bit of purling. That's all the purling is on the garter band that goes down the arms. There's decreasing. Once you get on the arm, there's some knit two togethers. There's ribbing, knit one, purl one, ribbing, which that's one of the first things you learn, I hope. If not, practice it on here. And then there's a bind off, which I like to do. I'm not sure what bind off to do on this. Fingering weight garment. First fingering weight garment. I'm not sure because I tried the stretchy garment when I cast off the Raina shawl and it was so freaking tight it wouldn't even budge. So I'll probably go up a needle size for the bind off and just do some research. So that's the sweater. The yarn is Knit Picks, Tide Pool Heather. That's coming out about right. I use Tide Pool Heather and Marble Heather. There's 231 yards in a ball. And I'll show you the marble is here. So I try to hold it still so you guys can see. I know moving around is a little bit hard. When I watch podcasts and they're just moving the yarn all over the screen, it's like, hold on, I can't see. So I've got lots of yarn. This bag holds this yarn perfectly. Yeah, And then that little spot right there is divided, and you could actually put, I think it's meant for your yarn in the little side and the project in the big side, but the way mine fits up is that mine just is the opposite. And then you can put your pattern in here. This is a great little bag. Okay. Oh, and the bag that I'm sorry, I forgot a finished object. Because I don't have it written down, because I just finished it right before I started. So, I'm sorry, let me go back. This is riding around in a bag I made. Wrinkly, it looks wrinkly now. This bag, the tutorial was from In a Pickle Knitting on YouTube. She has a Ravelry group, she has a podcast. I don't have the blockers. I should have brought the blockers. So here it is. These are another pair for Alex. The heel is from Silver Sock Class again. I used Knit Pick Stroll Brights in the Sour Apple colorway for the cuff and the toe. Again, the cuff and leg are 8 inches. The foot is 9 inches. Kate Atherley's basic rib sock toe. And the yarn is Bamboo and You, which is spelled E-W-E, from Sensations Yarn that I got from Joann's a long time ago. This was probably one of the first skeins of fingering weight yarn I ever bought. And it's actually nice. It's sturdy. I didn't write it down, but I will tell you here. Oops. I even had things written down on a... whatever. Okay, I had another pad with information written down about these socks. So they were knit on a US 0 needle. I use Knitter's Pride Carbon DPNs to knit all my socks. Those are my favorite go-to needles. I don't like Magic Loop for socks. I don't like 2 at a time unless they're on their own needles. So I don't remember I remember it said wool, nylon, and manufactured. It said manufactured something rayon from bamboo. So that's the Bamboo and You. And then the stroll is just wool and nylon. So these are washable for him. And the second one is right here. Ain't no shame in my game with all these ends everywhere. You're probably gonna hear some rain, and another sound that's coming from over here. It's the sprinkler system that I don't know how to turn off. Like, it's made that noise the whole time I've ever lived here. So, here's the first sock. And they don't match, and they're not supposed to, because in my mind these do match. Okay, enough about all that. Okay, what else are we working on today? I'm currently knitting on the Watchman's beanie, the ribbed Watchman's hat, and who is it by? It's by Shauna Capel, and it was put on Ravelry because they want people to donate hats to the military. I've knit a million of these hats. I just knit them because I love a ribbed hat, and the decreases are perfect for worsted weight yarn. And this is for Olin because his hat is completely falling apart and it's unraveling. He's had it for a long time and it just looks ratty and it's all loose and falling off of his head. And he likes it because it looks that way. he likes, I was talking to him, he likes this look of things that have been more, like, he doesn't, basically, he doesn't want things to look new. He wants it to look like it's been around for a while, so that's cool. I let him look at my stash, and this matches the color of his hat that he is wearing, so I picked this out for him, and he agreed that it was nice. It's Cascade 220 in an unknown colorway. They use numbers on their label anyway, so I wouldn't know. And I'm using this thing, which is a yarn caddy, so your ball of yarn doesn't fly away or roll away. And this is a US 5, which everything seems to be a US 5 right now. 3.75 millimeter. The little stitch marker, I think I got it from Lois. Knitting's my bag, but she's not knitting's my bag anymore. Now she's main girl knits. So, I like those real square. And what else did I write about this? Oh, I was told this is the Cascade 220 is a workhorse yarn. And then I've also heard people say that Cascade 220 is just kind of thin and it's not really worsted weight. So, I don't know. The rains are coming. If you hear that. I was thinking about doing a knit night on YouTube live. Maybe that would be easier for me. And I can interact with you a little bit better. Maybe that would make me feel like I'm not sitting here by myself. But Olin would actually like to come out and sit with me and record too. What would he talk about? I don't know. But, oh, that's the last page that of my show notes that I wrote, because when I'm done, I'm done. So I'll just wing it from here on out and everything will be great, right? Okay, my next working project is crochet. And this is in my Mickey Mouse bag that I got at Disneyland. This is big. This is probably the biggest bag I own. Oops. Let's see. Disney Parks. It's got Mickey all over it. There's Mickey. How could you not love Mickey Mouse? I mean, jeez. So, this is a large project. This is the Granny Afghan. I showed it to you when I first started it. I believe it was just that center rectangle. Let's see if you can see that. Sorry. Okay. There we go. You can pretty much see the colors that I'm using. Okay, so those are the colors, and it's big. The ends are not all woven in yet. And I'm using an F crochet hook, which I didn't write it down again. Let's see, here's the yarn that I'm on now. I'm just, oh, you know what? I don't need to write the millimeter down because it's right here. So it's 3.75 millimeter. It says F/5 dash 3.75 millimeter, and it's just this little hook. And my hook of choice is Clover, the little tiny gold ones. Those are my favorite. I love this yarn I have going on it right now. I just do, I work on this in my room when I'm watching TV. I could spread it all the way out on my bed and I can just crochet. So, that is what that is. I've got a little bit of Red Heart with Love in there. I love this yarn. So, I want to do a fancy border on it. Since it's like a crazy colored variegated yarn, it's not gonna have solids in it. So I think a cool scallop border or something would be awesome. Yeah. So there's kind of a lot. That's not even everything. I've got those Stephen West shorts still going. I've got the monster still going. I've got the washcloth still being crocheted. It was the moss stitch washcloth. It's getting ripped out. It's too big. I'm not happy with it. That's the other thing I've been working on, is finishing a lot of washcloths. I want to make a lot of washcloths. I wonder if that knitting machine would do washcloths. Wouldn't that be cool to put cotton in there? That Addie knitting machine, the lady said the best yarn for it is Vanna's Choice. But I'm going to find out how to use the yarn that I already have, so... Okay, what's next? Let me just look through this. Acquisitions or spinning? Let's just do the spinning. So I finished my Highland Handmaids Oceanic. And I've already got it caked up. So I've got 2 cakes of it. I spun this on the Majacraft Susie. It's a 3-ply. Really beautiful. It's superwash merino, I think. I can't wait to make socks. This is like a big goal of mine for spinning, and I haven't done it yet. So I just finished those socks for my cousin. I'm gonna weave the ends in, and then I'm gonna figure out what the weight of this yarn is, because I haven't put it on my wraps per inch yet. And I don't even know how accurate that is, the reps per inch tool, but at least it gets you in the ballpark of, you know, I could knit a swatch, but a sock is a swatch, so, in my world. I don't have the details for you on how I spun this, where my ratios were, any of that stuff, because I don't really know how to do that. I mean, I know how to use it in my head. I don't know how to talk about it, though. So, it's just the wheel adjustments, and I don't know. I understand it in my own way, if that makes any sense. So, yeah. The wheel is empty right now. The spindles are empty right now. I don't have anything going on. I'm not buying any fiber. I told myself I'm not buying any fiber because I want to work on what I have, and then Leading Man Fiber Arts just put a post up saying that they're going to have fiber in the shop. You know I can't say no to that. And I saw some really beautiful colors. I'm going to have to. I'm just going to have to. My fiber supply is not completely overloaded. I've got room for more. But I don't want it to get smashed down, and I don't want all kinds of fiber everywhere. I allow myself to have a large yarn stash. So the fiber stash, I think, can be on the smaller side. I'd be happier with that. I'm not like these podcasters who have so much yarn behind them on the wall. Or like some podcasters, like buy, and they have a lot of acquisitions to show. This is not that podcast. And I love watching those podcasts because then I get to see, I kind of get to browse and hear what they talk about, the yarn they buy, and then I can decide, like, okay, do I want that one? And quite a few times it has sent me to Michael's or Walmart for yarn. I've got a lot of projects lined up that I want to do that I already have the yarn for. So. Okay. Next up is acquisitions. I will show you what I bought first. Well, I paid for both of these things, but I picked these out myself. When I bought the DPNs from Knit Picks, I decided to also get some more yarns for contrasting colors for socks. So I got Pucker, which is Stroll Brights. It's actually called Stroll Fingering here, but I've seen it called Stroll Brights. This is fingering weight yarn. It's a 1. There's 231 yards, 50 grams. It's 75% superwash merino wool and 25% nylon. I bought this at Knit Picks, knitpicks.com. It's an online yarn store you can order from. I've used them through my whole knitting career. So, that's a weird name. My whole knitting life. Okay, I've got Stroll Fingering in Firecracker Heather. I don't have a lot of red in my stash. That's one color I never buy, so I've decided to start adding red because my favorite PJs I have right now are red. So I started wearing red t-shirts too. I'm just trying to switch it up. So I'm looking forward to knitting with more red yarns. And then another one, I got another Stroll, and this is Stroll Glimmer in the Midnight Heather. Ooh, you can really see that sparkle. It's like a really dark blue with sparkle. So, I love that. And this one is fingering weight, 231 yards, 25% nylon, 5% stellina, 70% superwash merino. It's pretty. I don't have glitter yarn. Glimmer, glittery. And the other thing that I got is my Mary Maxim kits. So this is, I think it'll be easier for me just to take it out. Yeah. So I wasn't actually gonna make these, and then when I saw that sailboat on there, that's a towel you put on your refrigerator handle or your stove, and I like that. So I do want to try that little bit of color work. I think there's a few techniques in here I'm gonna like. Like that dishcloth right there has like a honey stitch pattern, so I think that'd be cool. Yeah, honeycomb. So, yeah, I'm excited. This yarn here is kind of a cotton yarn, but it's ribbon. And I've never used this texture of yarn before, so I'm kind of excited about that too. They've sent a few patterns with this yarn in it. With it. I don't have time for that. So, that's all the acquisitions. And I actually do have one more thing to say. I pulled my sewing machine out and I started working on a quilt. And the quilt, I have the information here. This is from the Midnight Quilt Show, hosted by Angela Walters. I keep wanting to say Waters. No. So this is what the squares look like, and I'm not going to go into quilting on here. But you cut all these strips up. It's a jelly roll quilt, and then at the end, your row looks like that here, right here, and you're putting your blocks together. So that's really cool. I've learned quite a bit with it, and it takes 2 jelly rolls. Luckily, I bought 4. I'm using them anyway, so from my mistakes. And then I'm probably gonna need more fabric for the binding or something. I don't really know much about quilting. It's just fun to use my sewing machine. So that's everything. That's everything I need to talk about. Let me check these notes just real quick, because I always leave stuff out. It just feels short, but I don't know. The poll is still up in the Ravelry group as well for stitch markers. Spring Along is still going. Check that out. Oh, did you guys want to know? Let's see. I wanted to talk about some podcasts I watched, but maybe I should just save that because I don't really have it listed, or it's just going to be off of the top of my head. So I'm going to go. I'm going to continue working on my projects. My next goal is the hand knit socks, hand spun hand knit socks. Finish hats, finish all my small little projects I have going, and I really want to get a dent done on my fingering weight flax because I want to start a second one. And I want to start a regular flax again too. I have an idea that I don't want to talk about yet because I don't want anyone to steal my idea, but it's a yarn placement where I'm going to put the yarn, so I know exactly what I want to do now with that. I'm thinking, maybe, I don't know. What I'm thinking about are ways to use yarn in the flax that I can, where I'm gonna put each color, like color placement, yarn placement. I want to change it up. Like right now I'm doing stripes. I did a color block one. So I just kind of want to play around with color on the garment. That's what I'm enjoying. And who knows, I'll probably start another flax before that one's done anyways. No one said you can't have 2 sweaters going at a time. So, thanks for tuning in. Thanks for watching. I will see you guys over there on Instagram and Ravelry, and thanks again, Will. I appreciate your feedback, and have a great rest of your week. Hopefully I'll get another recording up soon. Bye, y'all.